And then shall the dragons have the upper hand. All right. Second Ezra 15. And 31. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand. Who are the dragons? The Arab nations. The dragons of Arabia, the Arab nations. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand. Okay? When will they have the upper? Remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Okay? Do we see that? Yes. Okay? We see the Iranians working together with the dragons of Arabia, and now we see them beginning to prevail. How do we know? If you start at the bottom, Yemen, okay? If you start with Yemen, all right, and work your way up, Yemeni are the dragons of Arabia. And we're going to watch this. Open-minded Thinker 2 hours ago. This is a shocker, right? This is an escalation, if you will. Okay, so here we go.
Yemen, which is the poorest country, maybe.
Yemen, Morandi speaks of Yemen, all right? This is classic, let the weak say I am strong. We see that. And we see from Yemen, this is a game changer. I'm going to call this video Game Changer, all right?
The poor.
Salakia. Let me get it all the way to 458. Okay, now listen close to Morandi.
Out of nowhere.
Yemen, which is the poorest country, maybe the poorest country in the world, or one of the poorest countries in the world, through sheer determination and brilliant leadership and a brilliant military, they were able to have a huge impact on what is going on right now in West Asia. I think that's something that we should learn from as individuals. We each have to be, we have to play our own role, regardless of how helpless we see ourselves. We all have to play our role. And if we do play our role in which we do carry out our responsibility and support the resistance and support the Palestinian people and oppose the United States and the Israelis, wherever they may be, sincerely, then I think that the Israeli regime, its demise will be much more swift.
Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the start of this video and I'm going to let it play through, okay? Because there's all kind of stuff in here. There's whatever this is, okay? But I wanted you to see Morandi first, all right? So with that, all right, call hello Yahweh Shem Yahushua Hashem HaKadosh. All right, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of a great millstone, even the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother / elder. And this lesson will be called, I just had the lesson, it's called, I forgot, okay? But as you can see, this is huge, okay, for Yemen, right? This is what this is about. It's about Yemen. Let's read this. Just in, Israel freaks out as another Yemeni missile devastate Israel, okay? So game changer, Salakia. The name of this lesson is called Game Changer. Now, let's get this week real quick and I'm going to let this play. It's like 8 minutes. I'm going to let all of it play because it's really important as pertaining to watchmen measuring the time, okay? So this is week. Let the week. This is it right here. Okay, let the weak say I'm strong. What do we see Yemeni doing? Joel 3 and 10. Beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. What is this talking about? This is talking about the weapons that you have and your weapons, furbishing those weapons. Okay? So they're going to speak in this video, they're going to speak of Yemeni's new weapon. Okay? Where are they getting that weapon from? They're getting it from Iran. Going back to the Carmanians, right? Coming together with them. Also, the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come. Join battle with it. Doesn't that mean handing? What do you need? How long have they been saying? Well, the Iranian-backed Houthis, right? How long have they been working together? Anyway. Let the weak say that I am strong, Salakia. All right. Let's read it up here. NLT, Joel 3 and 10. Beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weakling, at one time, the Yemeni, right? What did Morandi say? They're at the bottom. They're the weakest. They were. But now we'll watch this, okay? Start this at the top. Salakia for just droning. Open-minded thinker. Go. And we're going to watch the whole thing because it's pertinent. Take it. Let's see.
In the military.
Salak.
Yesterday.
Here we go from the top.
So after 20 years of service in the military, yesterday I got pulled into an officer's office and counseled for posts that I have on my social media. During the counseling, they told me I'm under investigation as a threat to national security.
I had to cut that clip because what's coming later in this commentary ties directly into why this moment matters. You see, when you look at how ordinary people are silenced or punished simply for pointing out the truth about Palestine, you begin to understand the frustration that drives nations like Yemen to step in where the so-called international community has failed. Yesterday evening, the Yemeni armed forces did just that, engaging Israeli targets with impacts felt near Ben Gurion Airport, forcing a temporary suspension of operations there. And while Netanyahu's propaganda machine rushed to declare successful interceptions, what stood out in the aftermath was how settlers themselves began posting videos showing explosions in central Israel. For all the boasting about Iron Dome, David's Sling, and the Arrow system, it was clear from the evidence that something new had penetrated the much-hyped, multi-layered Israeli shield. For the first time, Yemen had deployed an unfamiliar ballistic missile that many observers quickly linked to MIRV technology.
Listen to this. They're getting the upper hand.
Now, before I break down the missile itself, just pause a moment and like this video so it can reach more people who aren't hearing this side of the story. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. It helps support this work and keeps me going against the algorithm.
Listen to the excitement.
The footage settlers shared showed the projectile splitting into several objects mid-air before descending. That is not the pattern of a cluster bomb, but rather what military analysts call a MIRV, a multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle. This is not banned under international law the way cluster munitions are, but it is far more dangerous. A single MIRV missile carries multiple warheads which can be aimed at different targets.
This is beat your plowshares into swords. Okay? They're furbishing. They didn't have this earlier. Suddenly they have furbished weapons, better weapons, okay, that the Most High has provided.
It's making it a nightmare for defenders. Imagine one missile suddenly breaking into 4 or 5 lethal payloads, each needing an interceptor. Israel's systems were never designed to deal with such saturation from Yemen. Iron Dome is built to stop short-range rockets, David's Sling for medium-range threats, and Arrow for high-altitude ballistic strikes. But against a MERV-like system that overwhelms all three at once, they are practically useless. No wonder Netanyahu tried to downplay it by claiming the warhead
Okay, so I'm gonna wait for this to be over, but as you can see, this is gonna speed the war up. Okay, now they got to move quick. If they're getting better weapons like that, they have to move quick, or otherwise they're gonna be embarrassed.
Fragmented in midair to avoid admitting that his defense crown jewel had just been humiliated.
The weak are
This
saying they're
Palestinian
strong.
reaction tells you everything about what this moment symbolized. Videos circulating online showed crowds in Gaza and the West Bank celebrating, dancing, and cheering when news of the missile strike spread. And can you blame them? For decades, they've lived under occupation, bombed relentlessly, starved, and suffocated while Western leaders looked the other way.
Okay, so let me explain this and how important it is. This is in Gaza. This is in Israel. This is the Yemeni missile coming and hitting, overpowering, okay, the Israelis. And these are Gazan people, or somebody living in Israel. These are Arabs seeing this, right? And they're cheering. They understand what this is, okay? So it's really huge because Israel's being overwhelmed right now, exactly the way that it says they would in the scriptures, right? Is this the complete overwhelming? I don't know, but it's certainly the beginning, right? If not a show.
This clip, an Israeli rabbi boasted about the eternal plan of holding on to Palestinian land, twisting scripture into justification for endless dispossession.
אנחנו חיזקנו אותו בהחלטה שלו להיות יחד עם ממשלת ישראל, לכבוש את עזה ולגמור את הגידול הסרטני הזה. לא משאירים.
So as you can see, this is what they call religiously charged. Who do you think they're praying to? They're not praying to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They got that Talmud out. Who are their prayers reaching? Spiritual demon Satan. Okay? What are they doing? How are they injecting? All right, they're standing now with their many sorceries and their great enchantments is what they're doing.
גרועות כשיש גידול סרטני.
אז לא בכדי הרבנים התגייסו כדי באמת
That's what this is. This is an enchantment. What is he saying? He's pushing this witchcraft out over their media.
את שר הביטחון בעניין, יש איזשהו חשש מעניין הנחישות, אז כשהייתם שם, איך התרשמתם מנחישות השר להביא להכרעה?
השר אמר בצורה הכי ברורה, דין עזה כדין ח'אן יונס, אין שום הבדל בין הערבים האלה לערבים האלה, בין הרצון של אלה להשמיד אותנו, ובין הרצון של אלה, אולי בעזה יש יותר גרועים. זה בכלל לא משנה, אנחנו לא יכולים להשאיר את האיום הזה.
This is the mentality that has sustained the occupation for over 70 years.
That's witchcraft, okay? To lull the people into believing that lives don't matter.
The belief that Israel has the right to control and destroy a people's homeland while calling anyone who resists a terrorist. So, when Yemen fires a missile that forces Israelis into shelters, it's not aggression out of nowhere.
Yemen, which is the poorest country, maybe the poorest country in the world, or one of the poorest countries in the world, through sheer determination and brilliant leadership and a brilliant military, they were able to have a huge impact on what is going on right now in West Asia. I think that's something that we should learn from as individuals. We each have to be we have to play our own role, regardless of how helpless we see ourselves. We
have to each play our own role. What are our roles? Here are the roles. I promise not to interrupt anymore. I'm going to read this through one more time. 2 Ezra 15. Everybody, here's the role that they're playing. Second Ezra 15 and behold, where is it? Right here. Second Ezra 15 and 28. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So the dragons of Arabia include Iraq, okay, Saudi Arabia, yeah, Qatar, all of those little spots in there, Yemen, Lebanon, Syria, right? There's Arabs all over that region, okay? Who else is over there? Those Persians are over there. Okay, so I'm going to read it. Behold, an horrible vision in the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia, calling them dragons. Who? The Arab nations shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. It's going to be a great force. Hezbollah, who's that? Down there fighting in Gaza, right? All of them, Houthis, you know, the Palestinian Resistance Force. All of they mentioned some of them. They don't come to mind at the moment. Also, the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them. They've been fighting together, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Okay, their adversaries, big and the little Satan. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled, bled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. So these are being troubled right now, and they're being bled. Who are these? The Assyrians. Okay, who's conspiring together over here? We're talking about these two conspiring together. The dragons and the Carmanians, right? Well, who make up the Assyrians? Who sent missiles into Iran? And then after they were overwhelmed by the response, who came to their aid? Their team. Just like this team, right? The dragons and the Carmanians. The Assyrians are made up of a team, the big and the little Satan. Okay? Then shall the dragons have the upper hand. We're looking at that. Okay? I'm going to let this play.
To play our role, and if we do play our role in which we do.
What are their roles? Okay? Well, their roles are to chase them Assyrians up out of the land. We're watching them.
Our responsibility and support the resistance and support the Palestinian people and oppose the United States and the Israelis wherever they may be sincerely, then I think that the Israeli regime, its demise will be much more swift.
Watch the cry of an active duty US soldier being humiliated.
Then I think that the Israeli regime, its demise will be much more swift.
Let's now watch the cry of an active duty US soldier being humiliated for opposing war crime.
When I asked for proof, like what the posts were yesterday, they refused to give it to me. They made me come back today to further go over stuff. They gave me the proof, and the proof they gave me are anti-Israel posts. Now, when I joined the military, I took an allegiance to support the United States of America. I did not ever take an allegiance to support Israel. But yet, I am deemed a threat to national security because
They shall be as women. This dude is damn near crying. They shall be as women, right? Real quick, That'll sneak some of those precepts in. As women, how you spell it? They shall be as women. Where is it? In Jeremiah 51 and 30. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. Right? They have remained in their holds. Their might hath failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. Let's go down here. Good news. The Babylonian soldiers have stopped fighting and remain in their forts. They have lost their courage and have become helpless. City gates are broken and the houses are on fire. Look at this guy. He's broken. He said, I spent my life. I'm a lifer. This is how they treat me. It's treasonous. He's like, what? That's not what I signed up for. They want me to go out as a traitor. And I'm confused. I'm broken and confused. He sounds like he's effeminate than a monk. Listen.
His demise will be much more swift.
Let's now watch the cry of an active duty US soldier being humiliated for opposing war crime.
The cry of a woman. Listen to this. This is America's finest fighting man. He's done. He's like, I'm going to take this uniform off quick. And I'm mad. I'm not fighting for these people no more.
When I asked for proof, like what the posts were yesterday, they refused to give it to me. They made me come back today to further go over stuff. They gave me the proof, and the proof they gave me are anti-Israel posts. Now, when I joined the military, I took an allegiance to support the United States of America.
Now, don't get me wrong. That dude right there is a finely tuned, murderous killing machine trained by the finest killers on the face of the earth. And he will raise up and do what he has been trained to do crazily, right? You can tell he's broken. His whole spirit is broken because he's spent years. He's a lifer. Look at that. What is that, the E7? That an E712 rockers? I don't know. He's in there. He spent his whole life in there. He'll cuss you, call him sir, and he'll kill you. You understand? He can barely speak, right? And the bitch in him, even though he's a murderous killer, is coming right out. He's beside himself after investing his entire life into this, and now he's figuring out, well, this is some bullshit. Now you're calling me after I done gave you everything, right? And when I say that, okay, they got fraternal orders with these bars. Trust. You're doing some weird things to gain rank. Okay?
To me. They made me come back today to further go over stuff. They gave me the proof, and the proof they gave me are anti-Israel posts. Now, when I joined the military, I took an allegiance to support the United States of America. I did not ever take an allegiance to support Israel.
Okay, and because of that, all right, there are going to be a lot of people that are indignant and mad, and they're going to turn on their own, right? Because they're turning on him. He feels wronged. So what is he going to do? And when they call him that he's a threat, he is because of how he feels. Okay?
But yet, I am deemed a national a threat to national security because I do not support Israel.
And he is. You understand that? If you're not on board, motherfucker, you're dangerous as hell because we trained you. Not only did we train you, are a killing machine Edomite. And we know exactly who you are, and we have to neutralize you. And he knows that too. So what is he gonna do? He's gonna fight. All of them are. That's why they're afraid of what's going on in DC right now. They ain't afraid of no niggas that ain't gonna come out and fight. They are afraid of them cave beasts that are down there that have a plan. If you think Jan 6 is one side of a murderous beast. What's the other side? Okay? Two wings of the same bird. Them weapons are somewhere close, right? They all went to DC. Them weapons, they brought them weapons with them, and they're very close. And if they got to go get them and come back and then launch an attack, just like they were ready to do on Jan 6. You think not? This is the same thing, and they know that, and it's playing out right under everybody's nose, and nobody knows it. They think this is about Negroes and drinking on the street or firing up a joint. No. There's war going on at the Capitol that nobody knows about, and they're bringing in the troops. What war? The Civil War. Remember Jan 6? This is the other side of it. What? Look at Gavin Newsom. He's rallying a war cry right now. Okay? If you can't see it, the left has risen up and they're in DC right now, proper, on the ground, boots on the ground at the Capitol. Okay? And it's not going to stop. They're hiding it. They're blaming it on, oh, we dispatched some people to watch over Jake. Nope, that's not what they're watching over. Jake ain't coming out. Jake ain't hit the street yet. They know that. But Esau has. They're worried. They're worried about Esau hitting the street. Esau means business. Esau will, he will bust his fucking gun. And he knows it's time. Okay? It was gun busting time on Jan 6. That's why they went down there. Okay? It didn't fully happen. Okay? But they know what's about to happen right now. It's about to fully happen. And if you can't see through the camouflage, all right, you're not paying attention. This guy's telling you, what is he gonna do? They screwed him. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get mine. Because they're coming. They have to come after him. If they're coming after him, what's he gonna do? This is a military man. He knows they're coming after him. He knows they gotta neutralize him. What is he gonna do? And those like him, they're gonna rise up.
And their genocide against the Palestinian people.
He knows that what he's saying right now makes him an enemy to them. If he's an enemy to them, what do they have to do? This is a fighting man who has now gone to the other side. He's wearing there, you got to take that off. He knows that. Okay? And go fight for whoever you're going to fight for.
Yes, you heard that right. I am deemed a threat to national security because I don't support Israel's genocide against the Palestinian people.
Now, he just claimed whose side he's on by saying that, by making that very clear to everybody. Okay? And he knows what comes with that. All right? He understands what he's saying. He's drawing a line in the sand. What does that mean? He's dangerous. They know he's dangerous. He knows what comes with that. Okay? Right? We're here. We're at that point where people have to make a decision and stand by that decision. All right? And guess what? He's got a fighting uniform on. What is he about to do? He's about to do what he does.
Since when does not supporting a foreign nation get a U.S. soldier investigated for being a threat to national security?
And he's right. That's just right. Okay. Could be an Israelite standing up for righteousness. You go, hey, no Israelite, don't get that. Could be Israelite standing up for righteousness.
As Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro recently said, the world is entering a new era of confrontation on the question of Palestine. That's because silence is no longer an option. When Western capitals continue to arm Israel while ignoring the massacre of children, other actors will inevitably step in.
De 12 años, pero es que ya los tienen presos. Esa es una cara. Tienen décadas con niños de 12, 14 años presos, torturados, vejados. La otra cara es que sin ley los matan. El 70% de los 45.000 palestinos asesinados en el genocidio que se está cometiendo en la Franja de Gaza, el 70% son mujeres y niños. Por eso que se dice que es una guerra de exterminio. Quieren exterminar completamente la reproducción de las nuevas generaciones de árabes palestinos. Ellos creen que eso es posible.
So Yemen's new missile, whether a true MIRV or an advanced multi-warhead design, is proof of what Maduro is insinuating. It's a warning that the era of Israeli impunity may be ending. Netanyahu can keep spinning fairy tales, but his crumbling legitimacy is being exposed not only on the battlefield, but in the streets of Tel Aviv itself, where protests grow louder by the day. Thank you for watching. Support the channel.
Okay, so what do we see? All right. This is in the Middle East. This is in the Valley of Yehoshaphat, if you will. And we already see what's going on with Vlad. Vlad is dominating over there in Eastern Europe, as they call it. All right. But the showdown is where? This is Joel 3 and 2 in the NLT. I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Yehoshaphat. There will I judge them. There I will judge them for harming my people, my special possession, for scattering my people among the nations, and for dividing up my land. The who? The armies of the world. Okay, that's the final showdown. But as we can see, it's heating up. And if we go back here, okay, we can clearly see that the dragons are getting the upper hand. No? And then shall the dragons have the upper hand. Did we not just watch the Yemeni and the Mur bomb? Right? Get that upper hand. What was that? Right here. Anyway.
Footage settlers shared showed the projectile splitting into several objects mid-air before descending. That is not the pattern of a cluster bomb, but rather what military analysts call a MIRV, a multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle. This is not banned under international law the way cluster munitions are, but it is far more dangerous. A single MIRV missile carries multiple warheads which can be aimed at different targets, making it a nightmare for defenders. Imagine one missile suddenly breaking into 4 or 5 lethal payloads, each needing an interceptor. Israel's systems were never designed to deal with such saturation from Yemen. Iron Dome is built to stop short-range rockets, David's Sling for medium-range threats, and Arrow for high-altitude ballistic strikes. But against a MIRV-like system that overwhelms all three at once, they are practically useless. No wonder Netanyahu tried to downplay it by claiming the warhead fragmented in midair to avoid admitting that his defense crown jewel just been humiliated.
Game changer. The name of this lesson is called Game Changer. Dragons get the upper hand. All right. So with that, we hope that the elector edified you, brothers and few sisters. So on the scale of Salak, on the scale of measuring time, right? How close does this put us, right? This thing is going to be wrapping up soon. 2 Ezra's 9:1, he answered me then and said, measure the other time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I've told thee before, then shall thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. With that, we hope that I'll have gratified you brothers and sisters. Shalom.